I went to Sonic, and then I went to my house, which is about 96 good. And I was there the whole time, so I just came back here, walked inside, the back door was open, I walked inside, I was like, hello, knock, knock, and I walked in and I found her in the bedroom.
Okay. You returned back here.
I went upstairs, went inside, saw her, walked outside, went straight down here and asked her to call, because my phone's actually in her room.
July 3rd, 2020, 9:30 p.m., Denver, Colorado. A man stands outside an apartment door, trembling. His hands are shaking as he knocks, frantically, on the neighbor's door below. She's dead, he says. His voice cracks. I found her. She's dead. Inside apartment 2B on North Oneida Street, paramedics rush up the stairs. The wooden steps creak under their weight. They push open the bedroom door and find her, 40-year-old Ariana Woke, lying motionless on the floor near her closet. Blood pools around her body, seeping into the carpet. Nearly 20 stab wounds cover her back and neck. Her hands show no defensive wounds. She never fought back. But here's what makes this case different. What makes it more than just another tragic murder in a city that sees dozens every year. 50 years earlier, almost to the day, Ariana's grandmother, Rosemary LaBianca, was found in her Los Angeles home, stabbed to death, murdered by Charles Manson's followers in one of the most infamous killing sprees in American history. The LaBianca murders happened the night after Sharon Tate was killed. The second wave of Manson's reign of terror. 2 generations, 2 brutal murders, the same violent end, and the man who knocked on that neighbor's door, he was the last person seen with Ariana alive. A stranger she'd met on the street just hours before, someone whose name she barely knew. This is the story of how a chance encounter on a summer afternoon turned into one of the most disturbing murders Denver had seen in years. A story of misplaced trust, a killer who claims he was manipulated, and a family cursed by violence spanning half a century. And the killer, he just met her hours before. But what he told police about why he killed her is something you won't believe. Let's rewind 12 hours. It's Friday morning, July 3rd, 2020. The sun rises over Denver, casting long shadows across the city. The air is warm, summer in full swing. It's the day before Independence Day, and the city is buzzing with 4th of July weekend energy. People are planning barbecues, buying fireworks, getting ready to celebrate. For Ariana Woke, it should have been just another summer day. She had plans. A barbecue in City Park with her boyfriend Patrick. Simple plans, normal plans. She wakes up in her apartment on North Oneida Street. It's a modest building, 2 stories, tucked into a quiet residential neighborhood. Her friend is staying with her temporarily, someone trying to help her through a difficult period. Ariana has been struggling with alcohol addiction. It's been hard. Some days are better than others. Today will not be one of the better days. Her young son isn't with her. He's staying with other family members for the weekend. A small mercy, considering what's about to happen. As the day progresses, Ariana makes her way to a nearby liquor store. Neighbors see her leaving, her friend's small dog trotting alongside her. She's alone at this point, just a woman walking her dog on a summer afternoon. But when she returns, she's not alone anymore. Fast forward to 9:28 p.m. that night. The sun has set. The streetlights flicker on. Inside the apartment building on North Oneida Street, something is very, very wrong. A 911 call comes in. The caller is a downstairs neighbor, an older woman, her voice shaking with confusion and fear. There's a man here, she says slowly, trying to process what's happening. He came to my door. He says his friend upstairs is dead. The 911 operator asks for clarification. The neighbor explains. A man knocked on her door moments ago. A man she's seen around the building before. Ariana's friend, the one who's been staying with her. He's panicked, saying he just found Ariana dead in her apartment. Officers are dispatched immediately. Lights and sirens cut through the quiet Denver night. They arrive within minutes. They find the man standing outside the building, visibly distressed. His name is withheld initially. He's been identified as a friend of Ariana's, staying with her temporarily to help her through her struggles with sobriety. He'd been trying to keep her sober, trying to be supportive during a difficult time. The officers approach him carefully. He's clearly shaken. He tells them his story. He left earlier that day to run errands. He went to Sonic, then to his own home across town. He was gone for hours. When he came back around 9 p.m., he noticed that the back door to Ariana's apartment was open. Unusual, but not necessarily alarming. He called out for Ariana. No answer. He stepped inside. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. He called her name again. Nothing. That's when he walked toward the bedroom, and that's when he found her. The officers follow him upstairs. The door to apartment 2B is still open. They step inside, hands on their weapons, not knowing what they're walking into. The scene inside is chaos. There's a trail of blood, dark, still wet, leading from the bedroom through the living room and into the kitchen. The pattern suggests someone moved through the apartment after the attack, possibly the killer, possibly Ariana herself, trying to escape, though the medical evidence will later confirm she died quickly. In the kitchen sink, officers find a folding knife. Blood covers the blade. The faucet is smeared red, as if someone tried to wash their hands in a hurry. They move toward the bedroom. Ariana is lying on the floor, near her closet. Her body is positioned awkwardly, as if she'd been walking towards something when she was attacked. Her back is covered in stab wounds. Her neck has been slashed multiple times. The carpet around her is soaked with blood. Paramedics are called, but it's already too late. Ariana Woke is pronounced dead at the scene. The officers secure the apartment. Crime scene investigators are called in. Photographs are taken. Evidence is collected. The apartment becomes a puzzle that detectives will spend the next several days trying to piece together. But the question everyone is asking, the question that hangs in the air like smoke, is the same. Who did this? When someone is murdered, detectives always start with the people closest to them. Family, friends, partners. Statistically, that's where the answer usually lies. In Ariana's case, there's an obvious suspect, Patrick, Ariana's on-again, off-again boyfriend. Their relationship was complicated, to say the least. Friends who knew them described it as volatile, unpredictable, sometimes toxic. There was love there, sure, but there was also conflict, arguments, escalation. And there was a history of domestic violence. Just 2 months earlier, in May 2020, Patrick had been arrested after an incident involving Ariana. The details of that incident aren't fully public, but it was serious enough that Patrick was placed on pre-trial release. He was ordered to wear an ankle monitor. He was told to stay away from Ariana unless she contacted him first. After the arrest, Patrick moved out of the apartment. He'd been living out of his car ever since, bouncing between parking lots and friends' couches, waiting for his court date. But despite the restraining order, despite the ankle monitor, Ariana and Patrick were still in contact. They still saw each other, because that's how these relationships often work. Messy, complicated, impossible to untangle cleanly. And on July 3rd, they had plans. Ariana was supposed to meet Patrick for a barbecue in City Park. It was supposed to be a nice day, a chance to reconnect, maybe, or maybe just a chance to pretend things were normal for a few hours. But something went wrong. Detectives bring Patrick in for questioning the morning after Ariana's body is discovered. It's standard procedure. He's the boyfriend. He has a history of violence with the victim. He was supposed to see her the day she died. Patrick sits down across from the detective. The room is small, fluorescent lights humming overhead. A camera records everything. The detective studies Patrick carefully. He's looking for tells, scratches, cuts, bruises, anything that might indicate a struggle. He asks Patrick to put his hands on the table, palms down, then palms up. Patrick complies. No cuts, no scratches, no defensive wounds. His hands are clean. The detective leans back. Tell me about yesterday. Were you anywhere near Ariana's apartment? Patrick shakes his head. Closest I was the Walgreens on Colfax, around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Did you have any contact with Ariana yesterday? Yeah, at the Walgreens. What happened? Patrick explains. He met Ariana at the Walgreens around 2 p.m. They were supposed to go to the barbecue together, but when he saw her, he knew immediately that something was off. She'd been drinking. She was drunk. Too drunk to go to the park. Too drunk to be in public. Patrick says he tried to talk to her, but she was belligerent, emotional. It wasn't going to work, so he left. He got in his car and drove away. That was the last time he saw her alive. The detective makes notes. Did she seem upset? Scared? She seemed drunk, Patrick says flatly. And then Patrick says something that shifts the entire investigation. The thing with Ariana, he says, leaning forward slightly, is that when she gets intoxicated, she brings home people, vagrants, strangers off the street. She just trusts them. The detective looks up. What do you mean by that? Patrick explains that Ariana had a pattern. When she drank, she'd meet people, homeless individuals, drifters, people she didn't know, and she'd invite them back to her apartment. She wanted to help people. She'd give them food, money, sometimes even her debit card. She had a generous heart, maybe too generous. She didn't think about the risk. She just wanted to help. Patrick says it happened frequently, daily sometimes. After he moved out, it got worse. She'd bring home complete strangers, Patrick says, and just put all her trust in them. The detective absorbs this. It's a new angle, a new possibility. Was she with anyone at the Walgreens? The detective asks. Patrick nods. Yeah, there was a guy with her, young, maybe 20 years old, white, dark hair, kind of flamboyant, I guess. Stylish haircut, flamboyant. Yeah, like, I don't know, he just seemed gay. I'm not trying to be derogatory. That's just the impression I got. Did she introduce you? She did, but I don't remember his name. She said she just met him, like, minutes before. She was walking from her apartment to the Walgreens, and she met this kid on the street. The detective writes this down. A stranger, someone Ariana met on the street, and immediately brought into her orbit. It fits the pattern Patrick described, but before they can go further down this path, the detective needs to verify Patrick's alibi, and that's where the ankle monitor comes in. Patrick's GPS data is pulled from the monitoring system. Detectives trace his movements on July 3rd, minute by minute. The data is precise. It shows Patrick at the Walgreens around 2 p.m., just like he said. Then it shows him leaving, driving across town. He goes to a few different locations: a gas station, a friend's house, a parking lot where he's been sleeping in his car. But the data is clear. Patrick was never at Ariana's apartment on North Oneida Street that day. Not in the afternoon, not in the evening, not at the time of the murder. He's eliminated as a suspect. But now detectives have a new lead. A young man with dark hair, dressed stylishly, who Ariana met on the street and brought home. The question is, who is he? Who was the man Ariana brought home that day? Why did she trust him? And what happened inside that apartment after the door closed? Detectives return to the apartment building on North Oneida Street. They need to talk to the neighbors. Someone must have seen something. Someone must have heard something. They start with the downstairs neighbor, the older woman who called 911. She invites the detectives inside, still visibly shaken from the night before. She sits down slowly, wringing her hands as she recalls what happened. I saw a man earlier in the day, she says, with Ariana. He was, I don't know. I'd never seen him before. The detectives lean in. What time was this? It was getting dark, she says, trying to remember. Maybe around 9 p.m. I was closing my blinds, and I looked out the back window. I saw him in the yard. He came in through the gate, went around to the back of the building. Can you describe him? White, she says. Dark hair. The detectives make notes. This matches Patrick's description. But then the neighbor tells them something that makes their skin crawl. He came to my door, she says quietly. Twice. What do you mean? The first time was around 8:45 p.m. He knocked on my door. I didn't know who he was, so I didn't open it. I told him to stay outside and talk through the door. What did he want? The neighbor's voice drops. He wanted to talk to me about Ariana. He said she was acting strange, acting weird. He said he didn't like the way she was behaving. He said she was going to do something to herself. The detectives exchange glances. He said she was a threat to herself. One of them clarifies, yes, he seemed worried, but also, I don't know, something felt off. I told him I wasn't going to let him in. We talked through the door, and then he said he was leaving, but he didn't leave. No, the neighbor says, shaking her head. About a half hour later, I looked out my back window again, and there he was, in my yard. He was shirtless, just standing there. The detectives feel a chill. Why would he lie about leaving? Why would he take his shirt off? And then what happened? About 15 minutes after that, Ariana's friend came to my door, the one who's been staying with her. He was the one who found her. The timeline is becoming clearer. The stranger came to the neighbor's door around 8:45 p.m., claiming Ariana was acting strange and that he was leaving. But instead of leaving, he returned to the apartment. He was seen shirtless in the backyard around 9:15 p.m., and by 9:30 p.m., Ariana was dead. Detectives also speak with another neighbor, the son of a tenant who frequently visited the building. He's in his 20s, sharp, observant. He confirms what Patrick said. Ariana had a lot of new faces coming and going from her apartment. After Patrick moved out, it was almost daily. She was always trying to help people, he says, always bringing someone home. Did you see her yesterday? A detective asks. Yeah. Earlier in the day, she was coming back from the liquor store. She had her dog with her. Was she alone? No, there was a guy with her. The detective's pulse quickens. What did he look like? Mexican guy, the neighbor says. Dark hair, kind of a box cut. He was wearing all black, bright red shoes. I remember the shoes. Did anything unusual happen? The neighbor pauses, then nods. Yeah, actually, Ariana stumbled on the back stairs. Like she really fell. Her foot was at the top of the stairs and she just went down hard. For a second, I thought he pushed her. Did he push her? I asked him that. I said, did you push her? And he said no. And Ariana said no too. She said he was gay. The detectives find this detail odd. Why would Ariana feel the need to clarify that? But they also now have a clearer description. A man in all black, bright red shoes, dark hair, Mexican or Hispanic, young, probably in his 20s, and they have a timeline. Ariana was seen with this man around 5 p.m., walking back to her apartment. Now they need to find him. Detectives pull surveillance footage from cameras in the area. Denver, like most cities, is covered in security cameras. Stores, gas stations, traffic lights. If this man walked through the neighborhood with Ariana, there's a good chance he was captured on video. They start with the footage from East Colfax Avenue, a major street that runs through Denver. At 5:15 p.m. on July 3rd, a camera captures two figures walking eastbound. One is clearly Ariana, same build, same clothing. The other is a man dressed in all black with bright red shoes. A small dog walks beside them. The detectives zoom in. The man is carrying something in his hand, a clear plastic cup. It looks like a Starbucks cup, filled with some kind of pink drink. Ariana and the man cross the street and continue walking in the direction of her apartment on North Oneida Street. Detectives pull more footage. They find a video from a store on Colfax that Ariana and the man entered around the same time. The store has internal security cameras. The footage is clearer here. The man in black is visible in detail now. He's young, early 20s, dark hair, neatly styled, slim build. He's holding the Starbucks cup in his left hand, and on his left forearm, clearly visible, is a tattoo. It's distinctive. Red ink, some kind of design. Detectives make still images from the footage. They now have a clear picture of the man who was with Ariana hours before she was killed, but they still don't have a name. Then, one of the officers at the scene remembers something. When they first arrived at Ariana's apartment, they noticed a Starbucks cup sitting on the front lawn. At the time, it seemed like random litter, but now, it takes on new significance. The cup is retrieved from the lawn and sent to the forensics lab for processing. Days pass. The investigation continues. Detectives interview more neighbors, pull more footage, build a timeline, but they're waiting for one crucial piece of evidence: the fingerprint analysis from the Starbucks cup. Finally, the results come back. The cup had been handled by someone whose fingerprints are in the system. José Sandoval Romero, 24 years old, dark brown hair, slim build, and according to his booking photo from a previous arrest, he has a red tattoo on his left forearm, a perfect match. Detectives pull José's criminal history. It's not extensive. A few minor arrests, nothing violent, but the fingerprints don't lie. José Sandoval Romero was with Ariana Woke on the day she was murdered. He was inside her apartment, and now detectives need to find him. On July 7th, 4 days after the murder, José is located and brought into the police station for questioning, and what he tells detectives will change everything. José is about to confess, but his version of events is almost impossible to believe, because according to José, Ariana convinced him to kill her. José Sandoval Romero sits across from two detectives in a small interrogation room. The walls are bare, the lighting is harsh. A camera in the corner records everything. José is wearing sunglasses. He complains about light sensitivity, says the fluorescent lights hurt his eyes. The detectives allow it for now, but they're not looking at his eyes. They're looking at his hands. José's right hand has 2 cuts, partially healed but still visible. One runs across his palm, the other is near his thumb. They're the kind of cuts you get when a knife slips during a struggle, when you're gripping a blade and it slides through your hand as you're stabbing someone. The detectives have seen injuries like this before. They know what they mean. Tell us about July 3rd, one detective says calmly. Tell us about Ariana. José takes a breath. He shifts in his chair, and then he starts talking. I was walking near a Walgreens. José begins. I was having a bad day. I was upset about some personal stuff. And then I saw this lady and this guy fighting outside. What were they fighting about? I don't know, but the lady, Ariana, she started coming up to me. She asked me if I was okay, and I'm like, do I know you? Is that your boyfriend? Is he going to try to beat me up if I talk to you? José says the boyfriend got out of his car, tried to talk to Ariana, but she wasn't having it. She was upset, crying. She told me he had a restraining order on her, or an ankle bracelet, something like that, and I was like, you don't need to cry, it's okay. The detective leans forward. So what happened next? She started saying weird stuff. José says, his voice dropping, she kept telling me she wanted to put some type of drug in me. She said she does it to herself. She puts frog poisoning in her body. Frog poisoning? Yeah, like, I don't know. She said she wanted me to go with her and do the same thing, and I told her no. I told her I don't know anything about that stuff. I didn't want anything to do with it. The detective makes notes. This is already sounding strange. Frog poisoning? It's possible Ariana was talking about some kind of drug, maybe something hallucinogenic, but the detectives are skeptical. So the boyfriend left, the detective says, and then what? We bought food for some guy in an alley. José says, some homeless dude. And then Ariana kept stumbling. She had a dog. And all this stuff she was carrying. She was falling on the ground. She said she couldn't make it home by herself. She begged me to help her, and you agreed? Yeah, Jose says quietly. I didn't want to, but she kept falling. She kept crying. I felt bad for her. So Jose walked Ariana home. They arrived at her apartment on North Oneida Street around 5:30 or 6 p.m. Jose helped her inside with her things. What happened once you got inside? The detective asks. I made her tea, Jose says. I was trying to help her feel better. She was acting so strange. I made her coffee too, but she just kept crying. And then she started trying to fight with me. Fight with you? Like, physically? Yeah, she was swinging at me. Not hard, but yeah. And at some point she just, I don't know. I lost it. The detective pauses. What do you mean, you lost it? Jose's hands tremble slightly. It was self-defense, he says. The detective's expression doesn't change. Tell me exactly what happened. She came at me with a knife. Jose says, his voice rising. She tried to stab me. I took the knife away from her. And then she ran into the bedroom. And you followed her. Yeah. What happened in the bedroom? Jose goes quiet. The detectives wait. Finally he speaks. She was walking toward her closet. Her back was turned, and I stabbed her. How many times? Twice, Jose says, but the detectives know this is a lie. The autopsy showed nearly 20 stab wounds, most of them to Ariana's back and neck. This wasn't 2 stabs. This was a frenzy. Jose, the detective says slowly, we both know it wasn't just twice. Jose looks down at his hands. He doesn't respond. The detectives shift their approach. They need to understand not just what happened, but why. Help me understand something. One detective says, you said Ariana attacked you with a knife. You said it was self-defense. It was, Jose insists, but then you followed her into the bedroom. She was walking away from you. Her back was turned. How is that self-defense? Jose doesn't answer immediately. He's starting to crack. She was going to kill me. Jose finally says, she told me her boyfriend was coming. Her boyfriend and his friend, they were going to kill me. Did you see them? No, but she told me. Jose, the detective interrupts. If you thought someone was coming to kill you, why didn't you just leave? The door was right there. You could have walked out. Jose's story is falling apart, and he knows it, so he shifts again. She wanted me to kill her. Jose says suddenly. The detective blinks. What? She convinced me, Jose says, his voice trembling. She told me she wanted to die. She said it was the only way to help her. We made an agreement. The detective stares at him. You're telling me that you met this woman on the street, walked her home, and within a few hours, she convinced you to kill her? Yes. And you believed her? Yes. The detective leans back, shaking his head. Jose, people don't get talked into killing people. That's not how it works. But she did. Jose insists. She played with my head. She drugged me. She drugged you. Yeah. She put something in the tea or the coffee. I don't know. The detective is losing patience. Jose, you're 24 years old. Nobody can make you do anything. Nobody can talk you into stabbing someone. Nearly 20 times. Jose's eyes fill with tears behind his sunglasses. She just kept crying. She kept stumbling. She made me feel bad. And then she told me we were both going to die that day. She said it was the only way. So you decided to kill her. She talked me into it. No, the detective says firmly. You decided. You made that choice. Jose goes silent. The detective leans forward. Do me a favor. Take those glasses off. Jose hesitates, then slowly removes his sunglasses. His eyes are red, bloodshot. He looks exhausted. Here's what I think happened. The detective says, I think you met Ariana. I think she was drunk and vulnerable. I think you walked her home, and at some point, something set you off. Maybe she said something. Maybe she did something. But you got angry, and you stabbed her, and you kept stabbing her. And when you realized what you'd done, you panicked. Jose doesn't deny it. He just sits there, tears running down his face. After you stabbed her, the detective continues, you left the apartment. You took off all your clothes. You threw them in a dumpster, along with your shoes. You went to your mother's house, and you waited. I thought you'd come for me. Jose whispers, we did. the detective says. But here's where the story takes an even darker turn, because José didn't just kill Ariana. He tried to cover it up. He washed the knife in the sink. He tried to clean his hands. He stood in that apartment, looking at what he'd done, and he made a choice. He could have called 911. He could have tried to help her, but he didn't. Instead, he stripped naked, disposed of the evidence, and ran. And for 4 days, he hid. The forensic evidence paints a clear picture of what happened in that apartment. Blood spatter analysis shows that Ariana was attacked in the bedroom, near her closet. The blood patterns indicate she was standing when the attack began, but she fell quickly. Most of the wounds were to her back and neck, confirming that she wasn't facing her attacker. The knife found in the sink had Ariana's blood on it, along with José's fingerprints. The blood droplets on the living room and kitchen floors matched the pattern of someone bleeding from a hand injury. José's hand injuries as he walked through the apartment after the attack. The Starbucks cup found on the lawn had José's fingerprints on it. Surveillance footage confirmed he was with Ariana hours before her death, and José's own confession, despite its contradictions and lies, confirmed the basic facts. He stabbed Ariana Woke to death in her bedroom on the night of July 3, 2020. There was no mystery about who killed her. The only mystery was why. José's explanations that Ariana convinced him that she attacked him first, that he was defending himself, that she drugged him, none of it held up under scrutiny. The truth, the detectives believed, was simpler and darker. José Sandoval Romero killed Ariana Woke because he wanted to. Maybe he got angry. Maybe something she said or did triggered him. Maybe he saw an opportunity. A vulnerable woman, alone in her apartment, too drunk to fight back. Whatever the reason, he made a choice, and Ariana paid for it with her life. In early 2023, José Sandoval Romero pleaded guilty to the murder of Ariana Woke. He was sentenced to 48 years in prison. His earliest possible release date is July 2055. He'll be 59 years old. Let's talk about Ariana's grandmother. Rosemary LaBianca was 38 years old when she was murdered. On August 10, 1969, she and her husband, Leno, were brutally killed in their Los Angeles home by members of the Manson family. The LaBianca murders happened the night after the Tate murders, the killing of actress Sharon Tate and 4 others. Charles Manson was reportedly unhappy with how the Tate murders had gone. Too chaotic, not controlled enough. So he decided to personally oversee the next set of killings. Manson drove 4 of the killers from the previous night, plus 2 additional followers, through Los Angeles in search of a new target. For reasons that remain debated, he chose the home of Leno LaBianca, a wealthy grocery store executive. Manson entered the home first, tying up Leno and Rosemary. Then he left, instructing his followers to kill them both. Rosemary was stabbed 41 times, Leno was stabbed 12 times, and the word war was carved into his abdomen. The next morning, Rosemary and Leno's daughter, Ariana's mother, Susan, arrived at the house. She found her mother and stepfather's bodies. Susan was 21 years old. 51 years later, Susan's daughter would be found the same way, stabbed to death in her home by someone she barely knew. Ariana was born in 1979, 10 years after her grandmother's murder. She was 40 years old when she died, just 2 years older than Rosemary had been. Friends described Ariana as kind, generous, and silly. She loved helping people. She had a big heart, maybe too big. She was a single mother to a young son. She struggled with alcohol addiction, but she was trying. She had people who loved her, people who were trying to help her. And on July 3rd, 2020, she made a decision that would cost her everything. She met a stranger on the street, and she invited him into her home. It was an act of kindness that ended in tragedy. After José's confession, after the trial, after the sentencing, one question still haunts this case. Why did Jose really kill Ariana? His explanations don't make sense. He claims she convinced him. He claims she attacked him. He claims she drugged him. But none of it adds up. Ariana was drunk. She was vulnerable. She was alone. She had no reason to want to die. She had a son. She had plans that night. She was supposed to go to a barbecue with Patrick and Jose. He had just met her hours before. They were strangers. So what really happened in that apartment? One theory is that Jose simply snapped. Maybe Ariana said something that triggered him. Maybe he misread her kindness as something else. Maybe he felt rejected or insulted, and in a moment of rage, he attacked her. Another theory is darker. Maybe Jose saw an opportunity, a vulnerable woman, intoxicated, alone in her apartment. Maybe he planned it from the moment he walked through that door. The truth is, we may never know what was going through Jose's mind in those final moments before he picked up that knife. But here's what we do know. Ariana Woke trusted him. She invited him into her home. She made him tea. She showed him kindness when she didn't have to, and he repaid that kindness by taking her life. The detectives who worked the case believe Jose's story about Ariana convincing him to kill her is complete fiction. It's a narrative he constructed to make himself feel better about what he did, to shift the blame, to paint himself as a victim rather than a murderer. But the evidence doesn't support it. Ariana was stabbed in the back nearly 20 times. She was walking toward her closet, away from Jose, when he attacked. She never saw it coming. She never had a chance to defend herself. This wasn't assisted suicide. This wasn't self-defense. This was murder, plain and simple. And the most disturbing part, Jose went to the downstairs neighbor before the killing. He told her Ariana was acting strange. He said he was leaving, but he didn't leave. He went back upstairs. Was he setting up an alibi? Was he testing to see if anyone would check on her? Was he giving himself an excuse in case the neighbor heard something? We don't know. What we do know is that 30 minutes after that conversation, Ariana was dead. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The Woke family, or more specifically, the LaBianca family, has been touched by violence in a way that feels almost cursed. In 1969, Rosemary LaBianca was murdered by the Manson family. It was one of the most infamous crimes of the 20th century. The brutality shocked the nation. It changed how Americans thought about safety, about evil, about the dark side of the counterculture movement. Rosemary's daughter, Susan, survived that tragedy. She built a life. She had children, including Ariana. She tried to move forward, but trauma like that doesn't just disappear. It echoes through generations. Ariana grew up knowing her grandmother had been murdered. It was part of her family history, something that shaped her mother, and by extension shaped her. And then, in 2020, history repeated itself in the most horrific way possible. Ariana was murdered in her home, just like her grandmother, stabbed to death by someone who entered her space, a stranger who saw her as nothing more than a target. When Susan LaBianca learned of her daughter's death, she was 72 years old. She'd already survived one unimaginable tragedy. Now, she had to survive another. In a brief statement to the media, Susan said she was too devastated to comment. She asked for privacy as she grieved. Can you imagine losing your mother to violence, then losing your daughter to violence 50 years later, both of them stabbed to death in their homes? It's the kind of tragedy that feels like it shouldn't be possible, like the universe should have some rule against that much pain befalling one family. But there are no such rules. Ariana's sister, Rami, set up a GoFundMe page to help bring Ariana's body back to California for burial. The family didn't have much money. Ariana had been struggling financially. The fundraiser was necessary. Rami also set up a separate fundraiser, this one for Ariana's young son, a trust fund to help provide for his future, because now This little boy was growing up without a mother. Friends and family contributed what they could. Strangers who heard the story donated. The fundraisers reached their goals. But no amount of money could bring Ariana back. No amount of money could undo the trauma her son would carry for the rest of his life. One of the most disturbing aspects of this case is how easily it could have been prevented. Ariana had a pattern of inviting strangers into her home. Multiple people confirmed this. Patrick mentioned it. Neighbors mentioned it. Even her friend, who was staying with her to help with her sobriety, mentioned it. Ariana wanted to help people. She saw someone struggling, and she wanted to do something about it. It's an admirable quality. It's the kind of generosity that makes the world a better place. But it also made her vulnerable. José Sandoval Romero was not the first stranger Ariana brought home. He was just the most dangerous one. And here's the thing. José didn't have a history of violence. His criminal record was minor. Nothing that would have warned anyone he was capable of murder. He was 24 years old. He seemed harmless, but something happened in that apartment. Something snapped, and a kind woman who was just trying to help someone ended up paying with her life. This case raises difficult questions about vulnerability, about trust, about the risks of helping strangers, because the reality is, most people Ariana helped probably appreciated it. Most people probably took the food or the money or the kindness and moved on with their lives. But it only takes one person, one wrong person, one moment of misplaced trust, and everything changes. After Ariana's death, some people in the true crime community criticized her choices. They said she was reckless, that she should have known better, that bringing strangers home was asking for trouble. But that feels like victim blaming. Ariana was drunk. She was struggling with addiction. She was in a vulnerable state, and José took advantage of that. The blame lies with him, not with her. She didn't deserve to die because she tried to help someone. So we come back to the question that started this story. What really happened in that apartment? José's version of events is full of contradictions. He says Ariana convinced him to kill her, but he also says she attacked him. He says she drugged him, but he also says he was defending himself. He says it was self-defense, but he also says he got angry. None of it makes sense, and that's probably intentional, because the truth, the real truth, is likely something José doesn't want to admit, even to himself. Maybe he killed Ariana because he wanted to know what it felt like. Maybe he killed her because he was angry at the world, and she was an easy target. Maybe he killed her because, in that moment, he saw her as less than human. Or maybe there is no why. Maybe it was random. Maybe it was senseless. Maybe José himself doesn't fully understand why he did it. And that might be the most terrifying answer of all. Because if there's no clear motive, if there's no logical reason, then it means this could have happened to anyone. Ariana wasn't targeted for any specific reason. She was just in the wrong place with the wrong person at the wrong time. She showed kindness to a stranger, and that stranger killed her. There's no justice in that. There's no lesson. There's no way to make sense of it. It's just senseless tragedy. Ariana Woke was more than just a victim, more than just a statistic, more than just another true crime story. She was a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. People who knew her described her as funny, generous, and full of life. She had an infectious laugh. She loved her son more than anything. She was always trying to help people, even when she was struggling herself. Her death left a hole in the lives of everyone who loved her. Her son is growing up without her. Her mother lost a daughter. Her sister lost a sibling. Her friends lost someone they cared about. And for what? Because a stranger decided, in a moment of inexplicable violence, to take her life. Ariana's story is tragic, but it's also a reminder of something important. The people we lose to violence are not just characters in a story. They're real people with real lives, real families, real futures that were stolen from them. Ariana deserved better. She deserved to watch her son grow up. She deserved to overcome her struggles with addiction. She deserved to live. José Sandoval Romero took that from her, and now he'll spend the next 48 years in prison, thinking about what he did. Whether he feels remorse, we don't know. Whether he'll ever tell the truth about what really happened that night, we don't know. But Ariana's family doesn't need his truth. They have their memories, they have their love for her, and they have each other. The case of Ariana Woke is a reminder that tragedy can strike anywhere, at any time, for any reason, or for no reason at all. It's a reminder that violence doesn't always come from the people we expect. Sometimes it comes from a stranger on the street, someone who seems harmless, someone who, in another timeline, might have just accepted the help and moved on. But in this timeline, José Sandoval Romero made a different choice, and Ariana paid the price, 50 years after her grandmother was murdered by the Manson family. Ariana met the same violent end, different killer, different circumstances, but the same devastating result: a family torn apart by violence, a life cut short, a son left without a mother. There are no easy answers in cases like this, no way to make sense of the senselessness. All we can do is remember. Remember Ariana. Remember what was taken from her. Remember the people she left behind, and hope that somehow, someday, we can live in a world where stories like this don't happen anymore. But until then, all we have are the stories, the truth, the facts, and the haunting question that will never be fully answered. Why? If this story moved you, if it made you think, if it reminded you how fragile life can be, there's another case on your screen right now that I believe was made for you. It's just as compelling, just as heartbreaking, and just as important to tell. Click it, watch it, and remember the victims whose stories deserve to be heard. And if you want more deep investigations like this one, stories told with respect, with detail, with the truth at the center, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm here every week, bringing you the cases that matter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for remembering Ariana. I'll see you in the next one.